Hello there, Stephanie Cameraman, the Stock Whisperer, here to tell you the Dark Pool Weekly Whispers for August 13th, 2018. But before we get to this week's hot stock picks, we got to talk about last week's because holy cow, last week was the best week ever. If you had followed all of my whispers, you would have made an incredible 97% ROI in just a few days. About 15 of these hit their targets. We had some huge gainers on XOG, 23% ROI on that one stock alone. On the short side, went below that 15 level and went all the way down to 12. Newell, NWL, also another incredible stock on the short side. Our trading room, I think our biggest winner this week was Facebook on the way up and then on the way down on Friday. And that leads me to my trader of the week this week. He's a new guy. He's pretty young. He's taken my boot camp class and he is doing phenomenal. I love to see traders really make improvements. In fact, that's the best part of my job is just watching them learn and then really just doing it live. So K-H-A, I think he's one of our youngest traders in the pit, and I'm so impressed with you. You've been just doing a phenomenal job. Keep up the good work, and thanks for all of your fantastic call-outs. He was trading earnings season, day trading, swing trading, so awesome. Keep it up. All right, so what are we watching this week? Well, let me show you guys. Let's start with the SPY. All right, so let's start with the SPY. The levels that I'm watching this week is I'm going to be bullish above 285. Again, the purple lines are my bullish above, bearish below. And then the red lines on my charts are my targets to the upside, to the downside, and my black lines are my trend lines. So going to be bullish above 285, and I'm going to be bearish below 282. We are, oh my goodness, we are right in the middle of the biggest, one of the biggest levels on the dark pool, 283.26. That is such a key level to watch. This is the level that brought the SPY down back at the end of January. That's where the dark pool was selling. So that's why this is so key this week. If we can't hold this trend line, in fact, this 282 level, then I can see us coming down to 280, possibly 278, and 276 would be this lower trend line. So watch those levels. But if we do rally up, then, of course, 286, 287.50 to the upside. Now, we did have big dark pool action on an ETF IVV. Not sure many of you are even aware of this. But we did have a big 1.2 million print at 287.81. And this ETF holds Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway, Google, Johnson & Johnson, and ExxonMobil. So we're going to be bullish above 288. Yep, we need to go up and break above that level for me to assume that this is smart money buying. And I'm going to be bearish below 284. If we break below that, I'm going to assume they're selling. Target 282, 280 to the downside. Let's go to another one, SPYG. SPYG, there we go. So SPYG is another ETF with top holdings, very similar, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google, except this one has Visa, United Health, and Home Depot, which has earnings on the 14th on Tuesday. Okay, so be careful of that, but it's just one of the top holdings. So we had dark pool activity, 1.2 million at $37.18. So we're going to be bullish above 37.25, and we're going to be bearish below 36.75, and you can see my target exits are there. Speaking of earnings, these are really my favorite ones this week. I searched over 2 million daily volume. And these are the guys that are coming out. Home Depot, a lot of retail. And I'm going to get to retail at the end because we did have a big print on that this week. But Home Depot, TJ Maxx, Macy's, Cisco, Fox, Vips, NTAP, JCPenney, JD, Walmart, Applied Materials, Nordstrom's, NVIDIA, PBR, Ross Stores, and DE, Deere. So we do have a lot of amazing companies reporting. I'm so excited. I'd love to trade these before and after. So if you're in my room, you'll see me doing that. So let's move on to IWM, the Russell 2000. So we are going to be bullish above 168.75. You can see it had a tough time right here, here, oops, and here. Those three candles. Yeah, really tough time. There were sellers there. So if we could break above that, then I would become bullish once again for the Russell. Target would be 70. But I'm going to be bearish below 166.25. That's this trend line here. And a major level. And my target on the short side would be 165. We really didn't get that much dark pool activity on that sector this week. Let's go to the QQQs. We are going to be bullish above 182.50 and bearish below 180 for the Qs. And let's go to the Dow ETF, DIA. Going to be bullish above 255. It's such a key level. We need to break above that for me to become bullish once again. And I'm going to be bearish below 252 for the DIA. And let's go to the VIX. We had some pretty big prints on the fear. Yes, on fear this week. The VXX, a lot of my traders in my room were trading fear, doing really, really well off those big prints that we had at 28.57 and 29.37. So just keep in mind that the VIX is constantly rolling down the hill, okay? Always. They reset it. It rolls down the hill. They reset it, especially when we're in contango. But, you know, when we're having a correction, the VIX will normally go into a period of backwardation where it will roll up the hill for a very brief period. And then it'll go back into contango where it's just rolling down the hill. So this is not something you hold on to and hope it comes back. So this is just a quick day trade or measurement for fear. I prefer to trade the SPY when we're having a correction. But I know a lot of traders do trade this, and we did have big prints coming in. So I would watch this 30 level this week. If we can break above that, then fear will escalate. And bearish below 29, that's when it should dissipate. So let's move on to gold. I know everybody's waiting for gold, the bottom. I see so much activity on Twitter. Stock twits, where's the bottom? We're still below the prints, you guys. Okay, follow the prints. Really, really important. We didn't have any big dark pool prints this week for GLD, but I am watching 116. Yeah, I'm only going to turn bullish if we can break above that because we did have prints last week at 115.20 area. And I'm going to be bearish below 115. And my target is 114. We did have some prints on the miners as I tweeted last week. But we are well below that. Okay, but I'll tell you what we did have big prints on this week. Copper. Freeport, McMoran, and this has copper and gold, and wow, biggest prints I've ever seen on FCX. We had a 3 million print at $15.35, and then we had another 1.3 million coming in at $15.15. So let me just zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see the bigger picture. Yeah, it's been pretty ugly for Freeport. I'm only going to be bullish above 15.50. And of course, I'm going to be more bullish if we can break above 16.50. These are all my targets. If smart money is buying down here, we should easily be able to break above these levels. But if they're not, we are going to move lower. And so therefore, I'm going to be prepared on both sides. I know a lot of my traders in my room have put on a strangle. And what we do is we put on a strangle where we buy out of the money calls, out of the money puts. And I like to go in small. And then as soon as we have confirmation on either side, we will add and adding on to the right side of the tape, okay? So they're not going to move this until they're finished. So on Friday, they were still entering into their trade, the dark pool. So that's why it didn't move yet. But just stay tuned. I'll post if we see any other bigger trades. But this is definitely one of my favorite picks that I'm going to be watching this week. And hopefully it'll move this week. If it doesn't move this week, it's going to move next week. It's going to move, okay? This is the biggest dark pool levels. Let's move on to rig. Transocean, we had some nice activity coming in at 1242 dark pool, $500,000. So on this trade, I'm going to be bullish above 1275 and going to be bearish below 1225. Let me just talk quickly about DBO. Yeah, so DBO, as you know, we had those massive dark pool prints at 1242, 1224 area. We are below that. This was a great short for oil. A lot of my traders were shorting oil in the pit. And watch those levels this week as well. You know, as long as we stay below them, if we do break above it, then we turn bullish once again, but we are still below. XLF, we got to talk about financials. We had massive prints this week on this sector. It was a great trade off last week's Whisper. We were bullish above that 28.25 level, and it hit my 28.50 target. However, this week, we had 4 million coming in at 27.90. So here's how we're going to trade it. We're going to be bullish only if it can break above 28.20. But I'm going to be bearish below 27.80. You can see, I'm just going to zoom in here. Yeah, if we break below here, we may retrace back up to resistance. But if we do come down and break below here, there's a lot of room on the downside. Okay, so we'll follow those prints. We also had big prints on Bank of America this week, 31.59. We had almost a million share print on that 900,000. So I'm only going to be bullish above 31.50. You can see if it can go above that, then there's clear skies ahead. But I'm going to be bearish below 31. Then there's big trades going all the way down. Also, Wells Fargo. Yeah, dark pool activity coming in there. We had a 2 million between these two levels, 58.23 and 58.70. So here's how we're going to trade it. We're going to be bullish above 59, and I'm going to be bearish below 57. Really key level. So watch Wells Fargo. JP Morgan, this is a trade I took in the pit this week. This week, though, we're going to be bullish above 117. I'm going to be bearish. It hit that 115. That was my target this week. The first time it hits there, the buyers are going to be loaded up there. It took a bounce, but if it bounces back down and can't hold 115, that's another great entry on the short side. And we did have a secret signal print at 110. Shh. Let's move on to Citibank. Citibank, we had dark pool activity, 500,000 coming in at 70. So we're going to be bullish above 71, and I'm going to be bearish below 70. And one more on the financial side, Genworth, GNW. And you can see a lot of volume. You know, is this going to be the dreaded H formation? That's when it goes down like this and it forms this H and it goes down like that. If it does that, this is going to be my target for that pattern. But we had prints at $4.30, $1.2 million, and we had another 1.6 million at $4.50. So again, I like to be prepared always on both sides of the trade. So I'm going to be bullish if she could break above 450. And I'm going to be bearish below 425. Okay, let's go to technology because that was amazing this week. XLK, unusually large 1.4 million print at $73.40. So I feel like we had the splash already. You know, we have these big prints, we have a big splash, which is great for day trading. And then the real move happens. And a lot of times the splash may be in the opposite direction. So here's how we're going to trade it. We have a doji candle on Friday. So I'm going to be bullish above 73.50. And I'm going to be bearish below 72.80. I actually have a strangle on this, and I'm going to add on to the right side, okay? So watch XLK. It's going to have a big move. And let's move on to Apple. Yeah, a lot of my traders were trading Apple all the way to the upside. Now, also another doji indecision tug-of-war candle. We had some pretty big prints coming in at 206.65 and 208.42. So pretty big span there. We're going to be bullish above 209. And you know what? I forgot to put my lines in here. We're going to be bullish above 209. And I'm going to be bearish below 206.50. So let me just put that in here. Okay, that's pretty much the doji. And let's move on to Netflix. This has also been a fantastic trade as well. This week we had dark pool activity at 351.85. Now we splashed to the upside, but now we are below the print, you guys. So we're going to be bearish below 345 and bullish above 352. If it can go up and break above that print again, I'll turn into a bull. But right now we're below it. So I am bearish on it, and there are my targets. Just always follow the tape. Okay, always be on the right side of that no matter what. Let's move on to Oracle. All right, so this is in an interesting spot in the chart. We did have one big print, 48.59. And we're going to be bullish this week above 48.75. There were sellers there, couldn't break above, but if we can next week, then I'll turn bullish. However, I will turn bearish below 48. If she starts to break down, we're below that print, I'm going to assume it's selling. Let's move on to Facebook, my favorite stock this week. It was phenomenal. You know, so many great patterns. I told you about this double gap situation, right? Remember the gap? We have a gap down here, and we have a gap up here. Okay, so the big pattern with these gaps is the fake out. They take it to the strongest level before filling the gap in, and bam, right in your face. You never want to go for that gap fill, not the first time. And then what they did was they faked the up gap. Okay, and now we've pulled back. So which gap is going to get filled in first? I don't know, but I'm going to follow the prints and I'm going to follow the levels because it's been working. So we had prints this week on Facebook, 183 to 184.50. And we are below that. Okay, so a lot of us took the short trade on Thursday into Friday off that 184 print. That was fantastic. That was such an awesome trade. I love finding these big moves right before expiration because the options are so cheap. We were buying those 180 puts for like 11 cents. A lot of my traders sold it for like 400% ROI. Ridiculous. In just one day. But that's what happens when you follow the print. So this week, we are going to be bearish below 179 because this could be the gap fill. We faked it, and maybe we're going to go all the way down now. All right, but I will turn bullish on Facebook if we break above that initial print that we had a little while back, 185.33. For me, that's such a key level. So if we do pull up and then break above that, then I'm going to assume we're going to be moving up again. So watch those levels really carefully. Let's go to a stock that I've been trading since the 90s. Actually, I used to love this stock, Qualcomm. It's not my favorite stock to trade. For those of you that know me, it's like it's on my do not trade list. But we had a big print on it. And when I say do not trade, it's only because it's a shaky stock. Not the easiest, but if you trade it well, then keep trading it. Qualcomm had a big print on it. And 65.46 was the print. And it already did the shake. So I will be bullish above 65.50. If she can break all the way up above that print, then I'll be bullish on it. However, I'm going to be bearish below 64.50. This could be the top. It looks like it might be ready to roll over. We do have a gap here, right? See this gap? So we could be doing that gap fake out trade. Well, I'll take it to maybe 62 or 61.50 and then bounce it up. So watch Qualcomm. All right, what do we got up next? Ooh, we got the emerging market sector. Yeah, we had massive prints that were coming in. I warned you guys we were going to have a big move on this, and it did. This week, we had a 900,000 share print on EWZ, the Brazil ETF, at 35.49, and it's moved down from there. So moving forward this week, you know, I'm only going to be bullish above that 36. This is, you know, an ugly looking bear flag, possibly, right? You know, and you measure all the way down from, I guess you would start from around there. I mean, this could have a really big move down. So again, we're going to watch these levels, watch what prints come in. We're going to be bearish below 34. It may retrace up first. A lot of times when it's far from the 4 and the 8 exponential moving average, it'll want to like retrace back to resistance before turning down again. So watch that and watch those levels. Also, VWO, we have a massive 1.5 million print at 42.21. So we're going to be only bullish above 42.50. And you can see this high volume doji. These are really powerful. So I'm going to be bullish above 42.50, especially on a close. And I'm going to be bearish below 42 for VWO. Let's move on to something we don't normally get prints on. Malaysia ETF, EWM. Do you see this high volume? Something is going on in Malaysia. So we had the prints at 32.66, two sets, 1 million, and 33.03. So I'm going to be bullish if it can climb back up and break above 33. And I'm going to be bearish below 32.50. You can see there's a lot of room to go to the downside for EWM. Okay, let's go to bonds. We had so many prints on bond ETFs. I've been, you know, pushing out notifications like a madwoman on TLT, BND, LQD, JNK. I mean, there's just been lots, and TMF. I'm going to get to that in a minute. That's very unusual. So TLT is my favorite way to play it because it moves the fastest. So therefore, I'm going to focus on this one. We did have prints at 118.80 at the bottom of this channel trend line and 118.90. And we had a really nice push up to 121. Sellers came in. So this week, I'm going to be bullish if she could break above 121. And there's a lot of room to go to the upside. But it may retrace back down again to 120 first before moving back up again. So watch that. And I'll only be bearish if it breaks below those prints, 118.50. Now TMF is the 3 times the speed bull of TLT, and it's definitely a lot less money. And we don't normally get that much volume on TMF. So I don't trade TMF, but I'm going to watch it because it did have unusual activity that it doesn't normally have, okay? Look at the volume. We had a 406,000 share print. It only trades like 200,000 a day, so that is a lot. And that happened at 1852, and you can see it had a big pop. Watch 1920 if it can break above that. A lot of more room to the upside. Okay, let's get out of bonds and into AT&T. Yeah, AT&T, still watching this trade. It really didn't move too much this week, but 32.50 is still my secret level. I would love for it to break above that before taking the next trade up. Target would be 33. However, if she breaks down below 32, I am going to be bearish on AT&T. We did have a dark pool print this week at 32.30, right in between 855,000 shares. So let's go to Sprint S. Look at this bull flag. Really, really nice pattern. And we have prints on it. So we had some dark pool prints at 494 and 619. Actually, was it 494? I think it was 594. I take that back. Made a mistake there. 594. Sorry about that. And 619. So here's how we're going to trade it. We're going to be bullish above 620. Then there's a trade to 640. However, if it breaks down below those prints, I'm going to be bearish below 587. Targets would be 580, 570, and so forth. So let's go on to Caesars, CZR. So this could be another dreaded H pattern bounce, which is, is also a bear flag. And then we move down again. We had big prints on it at $9.68 all the way to 10. 4 million. So really heavy volume coming in. I will become bullish if we could break above 1020. Yep, that's when I'll become a bull above the prints. Going to be bearish below 960. That's when we'll see that dreaded H pattern take effect. Let's go to DNR, which we always call do not resuscitate. DNR had some dark pool activity, 1.5 million at 425 and another 500,000 at 450. And we're going to be bullish above 460. And there's my targets, 480 and 5. And I'm going to be bearish below 420. And those are my targets on the downside. Oh, this is a good one. NLSN. We don't normally get anything on this. But we did. Looks really bad earnings. And it's consolidated and had some large prints. So is this the bottom? Well, I don't know. But look at the prints. 2151, 2179. We're going to be bullish above 2250. And there's a lot of upside potential. And we're going to be bearish below 2150. And there's a lot of downside potential. Let's go to XLV. So while I don't like to trade, biotechs, I don't mind trading XLV. That's the ETF for the health ETF. And we had big prints on it. We had dark pool activity, $90.06. Is this the top? Well, smart money likes to sell at the top. So if it's the top, okay, we should stay below the prints. Stay below 90. I'm going to be bearish below 89.25, and there's a lot of downside potential. But if it's not the top, then I'm going to be bullish above the prints, above $90.20. And let's go to XRT, because I think this is going to be a really active one coming up, because we have a lot of retail earnings. This is the retail ETF. Somebody knows something. And let me just get rid of these old trend lines. Somebody knows something, and they're trading on it for sure. So we have this big almost 500,000 print at 51.12. So we are going to be bullish above 51.20, and again 51.50 would be my target, but if we could break above 51.50, we're probably going to turn parabolic. Okay, it means we had a really good retail season. However, going to be bearish below 50.50. That's where the 8 exponential moving average is. And my target's going to be 50 and 49.50. All right, but just be careful. All right. And until next time, you guys, happy trading. That's my secret. Can you keep it? My secret. My secret.